All right, good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. We will start today. And thanks for attendance, both remotely and in person in our Sparks office, Las Vegas office, and Elko office. Today, we're holding a workshop for the Nevada Department of Agriculture. It's 10 a.m. on March 3rd, 2026. And this is a scheduled time for workshop to solicit comments regarding the proposed changes of NAC Chapter 557. This workshop is being held in person at the Nevada Department of Agriculture headquarters, Sparks, Las Vegas, and Elko offices, and virtually on Teams. This workshop has been properly noticed and is being recorded required by requirements of Nevada. That's chapter 241. My name is Megan Brown, and I'm the administrator for the Plant Health and Compliance Division, and the following members of the NDA team are also present. Director Goycochea, Kaylee Guerin, Agriculturalist 4, Brianna Jackson, Agriculturist 2, Leisha Ortez Carlo, our Agriculturist 2, and Diane Reese, Agriculture or Administrative Assistant 3. If you need special assistance to participate in this workshop, you can please message or chat or contact Diane Reese, either at 775-353-3670 or via email d.reece@agri.nv.gov. Before we begin, I'd like to review the rulemaking process. This will provide a background on what has been done and what the next steps will be regarding changes to NAC. As the first step, the NDA reviewed the existing NAC language, updating sections that align with state and federal definitions and regulations to maintain a federally compliant compliance with federal law is required for Nevada hemp program to enter the national marketplace. The proposed regulation change only impacts hemp production and the pre-harvest testing as it pertains to the acceptable THC level of hemp crop. These changes will not change or impact the regulations pertaining to hemp products or post-harvest use of hemp. Additionally, this regulation does not change the current acceptable THC level of not more than 0.3% in dry weight biomass. The proposed regulations update the definition of quote total THC and the post decarboxylation in NAC 555 to align with existing federal regulations 7 CFR 990.1. This change also replaces references in existing state regulations regarding the amount of THC contained quote unquote total THC. The draft we are reviewing in this workshop is the most updated version of the proposed changes and has been reviewed and approved by the Legislative Council Bureau. The department then distributed a small business impact survey for industry input. That information was compiled and that statement was included in the notice for this workshop. The workshop is being held to review the proposed changes and receive public comment and questions to help shape the final proposed language. Additional comments may be submitted following this workshop, and if deemed necessary, the NDA may choose to host additional workshops to work out any changes. Following the workshop process, a hearing and intent to adopt proposed regulations will be scheduled and noticed. Public comment may also be made before, during, or after a specified period, which will be in the notice. Drafts coming out of the hearing process will then be adopted by the NDA and submitted for approval by the Legislative Commission. If approved by the Legislative Commission or a subcommittee to review regulations, the Legislative Council Bureau will file the regulations with the Secretary of State. At this point, the adopted regulations would be effective. And as you can see on your screen, this moves through the processes. So we're on bubble 3, which is the public workshop. A few housekeeping items. We ask those that are present to please sign in, even if you don't intend to speak. On the screen, you will see the Teams features for those that have joined virtually. If you're joining the team through Teams, please stay muted unless called upon and use your raise hand or chat in the comment and we will call on you. We have muted everyone to reduce background noise. If you wish to give any public comment, please use the raise hand feature and we'll call you out and ensure your mic is unmuted. If you are participating via phone, please use the *5 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. If you have any technical issues during the meeting, you can try the following. Turn off the video to see if connection improves. leave the meeting and either try to rejoin or call using the call-in number and log in information on the agenda. If you're having problems getting unmuted or into the comment queue, use the chat function and we'll be monitoring that to ensure that you are able to provide comment. In addition to public comment during this workshop, interested parties are welcome to submit written comment via email to the address included on today's notice of agenda. Since there are no sign-in, or there are sign-in sheets at the Las Vegas, Elko, and Sparks offices, and we'll be using that along with the electronic attendance list to note who participated in today's meeting. From our agenda, you'll see that we will start with a period of open public comment for anyone wishing to speak on or concerns and provide input. At this time, this time is meant to collect your statements and feedback for workshop organizers, and we will not be responding to comments provided during this time. As such, we invite you to hold any questions you have specific to the changes in NAC to that point in the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes to ensure everyone can be heard. As a moderator, I will interject or notify you if you've reached your 3 minutes so that you can conclude your remarks. Following public open comment, we will then review the proposed changes to NAC 557, followed by a time for question and answers and clarifications. This will be a time for both the public and staff to be able to provide any clarifying questions or discuss any concerns. After questions, there'll be another period for additional public comment on the proposed changes, and we'll provide instruction on how to make public comment both virtually and in person during those times. Again, please save your questions for that middle section where we overview the proposed changes, as that will be the open period for discussion and dialogue at that point. So I call to open the workshop with NAC 557. The department is proposing to change Administrative Code Chapter 557. These regulations and changes are necessary to align the state and federal definitions and regulations to maintain a federally compliant hemp program in Nevada. Compliance with federal law is required for Nevada hemp to be entered into the national marketplace. These proposed regulations and updates for the definition of quote total THC and quote post decarboxylation in NAC 557 to align with existing federal regulations in 7 CFR 990.1. These changes also replace the references in existing state regulations regarding the amount of THC contained in hemp to quote total THC. I will now move to the first public comment in agenda item number 2. Before reviewing any of the regulation and proposed changes, I will now open the floor to public comment. To those who wish to speak during public comment, they are requested to indicate that they are intended to speak on the sign-in sheet, and those both virtually by raising their hand feature. As a reminder, anyone who has joined on the phone, you can use your raise hand by pressing *5. Once you've been called on, you use *6 to unmute yourself. Is there anyone in the Las Vegas office that wishes to make public comment? I'm not seeing anybody in the Las Vegas office. There's no attendees in the Elko office. There are no attendees in the Sparks office. Is there anyone online that wishes to make public comment during this time? Again, please use the raise hand feature and then we will call upon you. I see no public comment, so we'll move on to agenda item number 3, which is the overview of the proposed changes to NAC 557. Victor, can you confirm that you can see my screen with the revised proposed changes and a PDF? Okay, thank you. As discussed previously, the goal of the change of NAC 557 is to align state and federal definitions and regulations so that the Department of Agriculture can maintain a federally compliant hemp program. I will now review the changes redlined and any additions in blue through LCD file LCD file R188-24. So in section 1, we will be adding additional language stating chapter 557 of NAC is hereby amended to add the following sections. Total THC has the meaning ascribed to it in 7 CFR 990.1 and adds this definition throughout this chapter. It also adds in the language total THC and adding the word total before THC as found in this section. In section 3, acceptable hemp THC level means the total THC concentration level on a dry weight basis when reported with a laboratory measurement of uncertainty produces a distribution of range that includes a total THC content concentration level on a dry weight basis that is equal to or less than the maximum total delta 9 tetra, I should have practiced this word more, tetracannabinol concentration dry level on a dry weight basis for hemp established by the definition ascribed to quote acceptable THC level in 7 CFR 990.1. And finally, in section 4, a new subsection was added using the definition of decarboxylation as the meaning ascribed to it in 7 CFR 990.1. So these changes are also reflected in the agenda, and you can see those. I'll leave them up on the screen as we move through the next section. Is there any questions in Las Vegas from members of the public? I'm seeing none. I'm seeing none in Elko as well. There's no public in the Sparks office. Does anyone online have any questions regarding the proposed changes? Use your raised hand or unmute yourself if you're interested in asking any questions related to the proposed changes. I don't see anybody raising their hands. We will now move to the final agenda item, which is the closing public comment. I appreciate everyone's questions. Though we didn't have any, but thank you very much. We will now move into public comment, and anyone wishing to make any statements for the record, please do so now. All questions and comments will be recorded for the record, and you will not receive a formal response during public comment. For those wishing to make public comment, you can either raise your hand on Teams or come up and speak in each of the offices. Leisha, is there anybody in the Las Vegas office for public comment? I don't see anybody in the Elko office for public comment. There's nobody in the Sparks office for public comment. Anyone online wishing to make public comment? I do not see any hand raised. Thank you for your participation. Following the workshop process, we will notice a hearing of intent to adopt the proposed regulations. The notice for the hearing will be posted not less than 30 days prior to the hearing date, and we will provide instruction on how to either provide written comment and the deadline for submission of those comments. Thank you very much for attending the workshop.